So I had a request from a friend the other day to spend a bit more time on sun protection factor. Now you'd think because we live in a beautiful sunny country here in South Africa that everybody will know and be very familiar with sun protection factor. So first, before we talk about the products, I want to just really touch on UV rays. UV stands for ultraviolet, and ultraviolet rays comes in three different sizes. We have our UVA, which is our longest ray, and in the skincare industry, we've always said that UVA is the one that causes aging. Then we have UVB, which is slightly shorter than UVA, and we always said that that is the B stands for burning. And then we have the UVC ray, which is the shortest of the UV rays, and we always said C stands for cancer. Now, the theory is that the ozone layer is supposed to block out UVC, so it's not supposed to get to us. But then if it does go through, because you know there's a big hole, at the end of the day, it's very short ray, so it can't cause that much problem in the skin. UVB, or the burning ray, is the one that we know goes all the way into the epidermis, so the top bit or section of your skin. It also affects the cell called the melanocyte, and the melanocyte is the cell that makes the pigment. So that is why you sometimes go in the sun and you also get that tan or that burn, and then it becomes a tan because the UVB has actually stimulated that melanocyte, the cell that makes the pigment. So UVB can actually cause skin cancer, number one, not just the UVC ray. And number two, it can also cause hyperpigmentation, and it's predominantly one that causes hyperpigmentation. But UVB is actually only around in the summer months. So winter months, it's completely blocked out. Then we have our UVA ray, and the A actually, which we said is for aging, goes all the way through the epidermis into the dermis, my true scaffolding of my skin. And it affects your collagen, your elastin, and also that beautiful, what we call hyaluronic acid or glycosaminoglycans in the skin. So the beautiful thing that gives you fullness of your skin. Now, we also know that UVA ray causes cancer. So all UV rays can cause skin cancer. And it's a big concern for us in sunny countries because it kills a lot of people, even in their early teens. You know, it's not to say that only old people get skin cancer. Now, in winter months, we still have the UVA ray, and many people, we beg them to please use sunscreen even in the summer months, but they might not even use it, particularly in the winter months. And so for that reason, I say, use SPF every single day of your life. It's part of your general skincare regime because you need to have that blocked out. Now, many, many years ago, when sunscreens were launched, it was only there to protect you from burning. So what would happen is, let's say I take 10 minutes to burn. I would then I put my SPF 30 on, and I would then say the SPF 30 times by the 10 minutes it takes me to burn, then gives me basically 300 safe minutes in the sun, which means I have 300 minutes in the sun without or before I actually start getting burnt. I still get the UVA ray penetrating because back in those days, the sun protection factors only protected you from the B ray, not from the A ray. And that is why today you'll pick up a sunscreen and it will say broad spectrum, and it will often say the UVA and UVB. So look for, when you go shopping for a sunscreen, whether it is an SPF 15, 30 or 50, look for something that says broad spectrum. Because broad spectrum tells me it protects me from the aging UVA ray as well as the UVB ray. And remember, A ray can actually penetrate through glass, through plastic. So even here with the window and the sun coming through, I'm actually getting sun damage if I was not wearing my sun protection factor. You still will get a tan when you go out in the sun. It's a natural process that happens. So you have the cell that makes the pigment called the melanocyte, and this melanocyte actually sits there. And the minute I go out in the sun, it says, okay, so Net is out in the sun. We need to protect the nucleus from every little cell. So what the melanocyte does is it goes and it actually is stimulated by a hormone called the melanin stimulating hormone. The melanin stimulating hormone goes to the melanocyte and says, so Net's in the sun, let's make pigment. And the pigment is being produced by the melanocyte, and that goes and it injects itself on top of the nucleus of every little cell. And therefore it sits there, that little cap formation, as we call it, that is then my tan that I have. So even by using a sun protection factor, I'm going to get a tan because it's a natural process stimulated by your skin. But by using a sun protection factor, I'm not going to get the damage in the deeper layers as I normally would have if I did not wear sun protection factor. So my DNA, my collagen, my elastin, my glycosaminoglycans, the little cell that makes the pigments is not going to necessarily be damaged by the UV rays. So I'm better protected, and therefore my tan will fade over a period of time, but the damage will no longer be there, or there will be no damage. You prevented it. So I'm going to do a few videos with regards to sun protection factors and talk about it. But my takeaway here is that you'll need to look for an SPF 15, 30, 50. You time it by the amount of time it will take you normally to go red or burn. You should use a sun protection factor every single day of your life, especially with sun exposed areas. And that is to protect your DNA. That's the best anti-aging product you can actually invest in. And you want to look for something called a broad spectrum, so UVA and UVB protection. And if you do that, I promise you, your skin will look beautiful, healthy, radiant for much, much longer.